Hi, and welcome to the Environment TV report. I'm Charlie Olson, your host and producer. First off, from our cameras is a repeat performance by the Turtles, captured by Lenny Labrizzi at Snug Harbor. We couldn't resist showing these guys and gals again, especially since some of the other animals seem to like the turtles' antics so much. And watch the turtles. They're going to fall off again. They get on there like a packed subway, except in our life, they don't fall off. These guys are going to fall off. And here we are up in the balcony with a bunch of birds taking a look at these turtles and their performance. Again, it's Lenny Labrizzi doing the camera work. And these birds just seem mesmerized by the turtles. The orchestra seats on the ground floor were taken up by some very dear friends who even brought their cousin, a very famous and unique white deer, to enjoy the performance. During intermission, it was rather hard to get some snacks, though someone did try to hawk some snacks from way back in the theater, in the Central Park section. We don't know who took this video, but we're glad that they sent it to us. This guy does a great job and just might be able to not only catch those people sneaking into the theater, but help our city out with the rat problem and privately possibly work for the mayor. If any of our viewers catch some of these actors along your journeys, please feel free to send them along to us so that we can share them right here on the Environment TV report. Continuing with our normal introduction, today's show will spotlight Adriano Chinellato, our photographer for February's calendar photo from the Protectors of Pine Oak Woods. That'll be followed by Kayak Staten Island and the Natural Resources Protective Association at one of their cleanup activities in preparation for kayak launchings later this year when the weather gets warmer. We then hear from Lenny Labrizzi about the food group that he belongs to, how he receives it from a local farmer, which you can join also through his group, the North Shore Community Supported Agriculture. Mark Latour then talks about Connecticut's new mandatory climate change education in its public schools. On one of our previous episodes, we asked how many watts of energy came from the sun per square meter. Now I'm going to ask, how much energy does our planet use every second or instantaneously? That is, how many watts of energy or electricity does our society or the whole planet, the whole world, need generated instantly? And I want that answer in watts, same as what we receive from the sun. As usual, we'll let you think on that while we do the rest of this broadcast and give you the answer in our closing. Hi, I'm Charlie Olson at Environment TV, and I'm here at Fort Wadsworth in Staten Island with
Adriano Chinellato.
Chinellato. And he is a photographer. We will see some of his work in these Protectors of the Pine Oak Woods calendar. They are an environmental group on Staten Island, and they put out a yearly calendar, and he has a picture or two. He has a few photos in there, one in the inside cover and one for the month of February. And you can see the calendar here. And he does this all year round. So we hope to have him a number of times this year, as well as some of the other photographers who have submitted their works for this selection and for this calendar.
I would like to share with you all is representing the month of February. This photo was taken not too far from where we are standing here, maybe half a mile from here. It's close to South Beach, as you can see, in a very cloudy day. And the reason I decided to take this photo is because that specific day, the water in the ocean was quite clean. So although the title of this picture is called Between the Tides, I would like to call it Clean Water, because that is the reason why I decided to take this photo, to show, to improve to others that the water quality is getting better every year. Something that we all should be happy about it. And so, again, very, very happy and fortunate that this photo was selected by the members of Protectors and included in this 2023 calendar.
Now, if you could tell us what you're up to in this cold month here.
Being that it is winter, I'm waiting for opportunities to take photos in the woods, perhaps with snow, with ice. Those are always very interesting subjects to take a photo, to show and share with you.
And that would be great to share with other people. So thank you so much, Adriano.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, environmentalists. Just wanted to keep you updated on the hikes and other activities we have at Protectors of Pine Oak Woods here on Staten Island. We've got excellent hikes virtually every Saturday. We've got forest restoration workshops on a regular basis. 4 times a year we'll do a 10-mile hike through the Greenbelt, which is an enormous green area in the central part of Staten Island. Sometimes we'll do beach walks, we'll do owl prowls in the evening, butterfly counts in the summer. We do the Audubon Christmas bird count. So take a look at our website, and these are all listed there, www.siprotectors.org, and we hope to see you on a hike or other activity quite soon.
Thank you. Hi, this is Charlie Olson here, and we're speaking with some members of the Kayak Staten Island and the Natural Resources Protection Association. They're working together to try and clean up, and that's what we're here for, from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and I just did a bag myself. So this is TJ, right?
Yeah, TJ Smoker.
And Annette is over here.
Hi, I'm Annette
And what's your last name, Annette?
Pierce.
Pierce. Okay, I'm going to let them do the talking from this point. Okay, here we go.
So we're Kayak Staten Island. We are a small urban kayaking nonprofit that has been providing free and low-cost kayaking to the community in Staten Island since 2007. So this is one of our launch sites here. We have a launch site down in Tottenville on Page Avenue. We got grant funding to expand up to the North Shore, so we are working on this particular area, things in the works. We have big high hopes for it, and then part of what we do, besides just running programming here when it's warmer, is environmental stewardship is a really important piece of our mission as an organization, and so is equity, which is why it's very important for us to invest in this particular neighborhood and do programming here. So we are here cleaning up for a couple of hours today. We had a wonderful turnout. We're very happy that NARPA and Jim showed up to bring people and to bring resources. And
So that is terrific. Were you kayaking today?
No, we didn't.
kayaking, no.
When was your last kayaking trip of the season, or is there a season?
Typically the season is when it is a little warmer out. So we start around May-ish and then have events through ostensibly through like October if it's warm enough, but kind of roughly May to September. So like our schedule really is determined by the tides too, and a lot of other factors. We cancel for weather. So yeah, no kayaking today, way too cold, way too much difficulty in providing maybe beginning kayakers with all the winter gear they would need and that kind of preparation. So we're just focusing on environmental stewardship this time of year.
And the kayaking that you offer the public is free, is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So we offer kayaking at 2 locations. So here at Front Street, like Annette said, we offer guided public tours during the summer. I think last summer we put on 4 of those. We plan on doing more this summer. But we keep our boats down over by the Staten Island Makerspace. We bring them over here. We load people up. We take them on a tour down to the Alice Austin House, sometimes even a little further, and then we come back at sunset. It's really nice. We charge a nominal fee for that. just about $10 for that tour, and you have to book it in advance for that one. But we also offer programming on the South Shore, so at Page Avenue, 850 Page Avenue, we have a full boathouse with, I don't know, 30 boats, I think, something. We have a lot of boats down there, and we generally have them all out on the water, and that's more of an open programming, so we provide water support. Trained volunteers go out and provide support to people, but we basically give you a kayak, we give you some brief lessons on how to use it, and then we send you out into the water to just tool around however you like. And that's totally free. Yeah, we actually would. The only reason we charge any money for this one is because people were canceling on us. So we charge just a little bit of money, which goes right back into the program. But we charge a little bit of money just to hold people to actually showing up for it. And it's very popular. We always sell it out. Yeah, and we look forward to expanding that programming as well this summer.
So the Page Avenue one is not, there's no charge for the
charge.
Page, and $10, that doesn't sound too bad.
No.
No, I mean, we could probably charge more, because comparable programming at other boathouses in the city, I guess they have different overhead and stuff like that, so they charge more. But we're not trying to, like TJ said, we're not trying to make money off of the tours from here. We're just trying to have people have a skin in the game, because we have a finite amount of boats up here, which means a finite amount of seats, so if somebody gets a spot and cancels, then that means someone else can't go. And the tours are really popular, so the $10 fee just kind of holds the place and keeps people accountable.
I was down at Page Avenue and is walking along the beach there, it's down to Conference House, and I saw a container there. Is that your container?
Yeah, we have 2 of them. That's where we store our boats and our equipment for the programming, and it's like our summertime clubhouse. We usually get there a little early in the morning, get set up. We have some refreshments, some light snacks for people to come down when they come down to volunteer for us. And
how do you get the kayaks here? I don't see a container here. I see kayaks on cars here. I see a few of them, as a matter of fact.
That's an interesting proposition. So, and thank you. So, initially, we have some rolling racks that are down maybe about a quarter mile that way at Maker Park. Yeah, and we have a trailer down there which we store some of our non-kayak equipment, like life vests and paddles and stuff. But we take those rolling racks and we actually have human beings push them down the street to come here.
Yeah, so it's a whole kayak. No, sorry, I said it's a whole caravan of kayaks that we have going down Front Street when we're doing events here from Maker Park and blocking traffic, and it's resourceful and it's very MacGyvered, but it's not ideal. But it's how we do it for now.
That is tremendous. What else would you like to say to the audience here?
Come down and visit our programming. We try to provide kayaking for people who wouldn't normally be able to do that, or didn't think to do it, or can't store a kayak in their house for any reason, or anybody who wants to be on the water. We want to help you get on the water. Also, protect our beaches. We're cleaning up all this garbage that we see that people are just throwing, seeing a lot of single-use plastic, lots of really gross stuff laying out here, and clean up after yourselves, I think, is really important. And yeah, don't throw stuff in the water, don't let stuff go down the catch basins, because this winds up here. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And all these seagulls that I'm looking at, they may be chomping down by accident some of the plastic.
Well, exactly, this guy just came and threw a bunch of bread out for him. And they're eating the bread amongst a bunch of broken glass, so I'm sure that,
So do you have any more events taking place before the warmer times?
We kind of are thinking of doing something prior to our first launch here too. So as it gets kind of warmer, we'll probably do some more stuff too. So, and I would also say, if it's okay, if anybody's interested in keeping up with us, we're Kayak Staten Island on Instagram and Facebook. On the web, we're kayakstatenisland.org, and we're hoping to get an upgraded website soon. But yeah, that's how you can keep up with us. So, kayakstatenisland@gmail. Email us if you want to be on our mailing list.
Terrific.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for
Also supplying materials and cleaning up that day was the Natural Resources Protective Association, known as NARPA. We'll let Jim Scarcella, president and our friend, tell you about it in his own words.
Okay, good morning. Hi, hello again. Jim Scarcella here, President, Natural Resources Protective Association. We want to thank our friends here with Kayak Staten Island. This is their launch spot. This is our waterfront, people. This is what we have. Let us try to protect it down here. They're doing launching. We launch kayaks here. People go swimming, fishing. They come down here for a sense of meditation. Very important in today's world. Let's try to protect our waters, our ocean, our waterfront. You can see all the marine life. I want to thank all the young people today for getting out here to help us get the garbage off the beach. Yeah! Oh, yes, the young people, they have it. We got Tiffany here from the Office of the Borough President. Thank you, Tiffany, for helping. We got Annette, all the folks from Kayak Staten Island. We want to thank you all. We're going to be down at Oakwood Beach. There's another cleanup today down at Great Hills Park with the swimmers. And I can't thank everybody here enough for getting out here to help us to protect our waterfront, protect waterfront access, and give us all a chance to have some peace by the water. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You can now register for the 2023 season. Early bird discounts until March 1st.
And our farmer's name is John Kruger.
They are a financial stream for small farmers. So really it's community-supported agriculture of small farmers doing right by land, water, and air.
We have 24 weeks in the season. We start about the middle of June until a week before Thanksgiving.
Every week on Thursday night between 5:30 and 7:30, the folks can come and pick up their produce. It's delivered from our farm, which is in Andover, New Jersey.
I was interested in organic food, wanted to see what it was like. I heard about the food share. I actually looked it up. My neighbor told me about trying one. I looked it up. I found it online. It does last longer, and you can share because you do get a lot.
Hey, Daddy's that hot? The red one? Get the red one.
You can order an egg share, and so each week you'll get a dozen eggs. You can also get a fruit share.
Because every season, some things will do better than others, and if you're trying to avoid pesticide and stuff like that, you plant a variety of crops, and the things that do poorly, it's all right because you planted a variety. It's not like you plant one thing on the whole farm.
Sign up now at StatenIslandCSA.org.
Did you know that climate change studies is not mandatory in the majority of schools throughout the United States? I'm here with Mark Latour, a Staten Island environmentalist, to discuss that in light of the recent news that Connecticut will be mandating such studies starting this July in 2023. Let's start with asking Mark about his background.
Sure, I've hiked and camped and traveled throughout the United States and Canada, and also had jobs throughout various parts of the country. For example, I used to work for a big engineering company in Alaska in rural electrification and alternative energy. I used to write environmental impact reports for many development projects in the state of California. I was a county administrator and land use administrator up on the Continental Divide in Colorado. So I've a background in a lot of these matters.
Can you share with us your academic background?
A couple master's degrees, one in city and regional planning, the other's a master's in business administration.
What would be your main point on this topic? What is it that you'd like to get across to our viewers?
Sure. Well, I was hoping to talk about climate change studies and how they are becoming compulsory in some states in particular. The state of Connecticut is introducing climate change studies K through 12 beginning July 1st of 2023. So at that time, it will become one of the first states in the United States to mandate climate change studies across its public schools as part of the science curriculum. The new law passed in 2022 comes as a part of the state's attempts to address concerns over the short duration and in some cases absence of climate change studies in classrooms. So there are a few other states that have adopted this. New Jersey was actually the first, which in 2020 became the first to adopt a K through 12 climate change education across all of its school districts. In terms of Connecticut, it's particularly fortunate that now that has been adopted formally because there's no worries in terms of a budget increases or decreases year to year. Climate change studies will always be funded according to this new piece of legislation.
Can you talk about what the classroom experience would be like? That is, would it be like we have in other sciences, a classroom talk and a lab section? Or am I just seeing this from the perspective of the high school?
No, it's going to be a wide range of things, including some outdoor activities, plus lab activities, and a wide range of curriculum areas. For example, the earth and human activity, you see ecosystems, interactions, energy and dynamics. I'm just listing the formal curriculum here. Engineering design, from molecules to organisms, structures and processes, of biological evolution, unity and diversity, independent relationships and ecosystems.
From what you're saying, is that going to be for the kindergarten, the preschoolers, the pre-kindergarten?
No, the last few were for grades 9 through 12, but some are for the earlier grades.
And the Connecticut law that's going into effect, is that for all public schools, public high schools, or grammar schools, or?
No, it's for all public schools, but it's especially focused on grades 5 through 12. And I guess the one thing that I should add is that there's a lot of interconnectivity with other subjects that are being taught in the school system. So biology, chemistry, geology. It can impact even writing and diction and the ability to make arguments, the ability to read media critically, and so a range of science and liberal topics.
So you're for making these subjects mandatory in these schools?
Yes, I think it's incredibly important, and we see multiple environmental crises, coming together from a drought, particularly in the western states, to flooding in other states, to increased temperatures around the country, especially I would say in the southern and southwestern states. And those are becoming quite serious. They're going to change our way of life. And so if students, as they enter the workforce, they need to figure out some solutions to these crises, and these tools will help them to do that.
It sounds like you think that this is an important topic and it should be in the curriculum and mandated so that the students, the children, the next few generations will be able to cope with, understand what is going on in our world about us. Very similar to when we first started getting public education in the United States or anywhere else in the world, but especially in the United States, because we didn't always have public schools. And at that time, it was the big controversy as to whether to educate the public at all. And that's in the 1830s, the 1850s. And also, what should be taught? As many people were saying back then, by my reading of history, if we were going to educate these people and take them off the farms and other areas where their work is needed on a daily basis and a seasonal basis, that they should only learn the 3 R's. That's reading, writing, and arithmetic. And then just enough of them to do their work, whether at the factories in New England or the farms in Kentucky and Indiana or elsewhere. Nothing, nothing, nothing beyond that.
Well, things have changed, and there's a lot of serious problems now that need to be addressed. For example, pollution, a loss of biodiversity, loss of forests, loss of wetlands, and those are all critical as we move forward. I mean, in the United States, if we want to have a healthy economy, we've got to have a healthy environment, and these changes will give students some of the tools to help solve some of these problems.
And what would you say to some about the problems that we see at different levels by different administrations who say that they don't believe in climate change to begin with?
Well, it's a political issue for sure, but there are many school boards out there that are really demanding climate change education. There may be a few others that are opposed to it or not familiar with the subjects that would be taught, but at least in the state of Connecticut, New Jersey, and 18 other states, that curriculum is moving forward.
And what was the first state to mandate this?
So New Jersey in 2020.
That recently. I was going to say 1820s, 2020, and now Connecticut is going to do that. And that will be the second one,
Right, well, there's 18 others that have embraced the new curriculum in some way.
but not mandated. New Jersey is the first state in the US to mandate a climate change curriculum. Is that called climate change or is it
Yes, that's the
called
term.
climate change?
Yes.
And Connecticut is following that now,
Starting July 1st of 2023.
2023. And the other 18 states don't have any mandates. They just follow some classes on climate change.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And do we have any articles on Staten Island and how Staten Island is doing?
That I'm not sure of. I haven't looked into that yet.
I see. As part of the Environment TV, I do know that we have here on Staten Island covered a number of scientific climate change kinds of exhibitions and laboratories. We have the Staten Island Student Summit, which happens once a year, and the high schools from Staten Island, some of them who participate in this, come to the Great Kills Beach area, and they learn about the ocean. They learn about pollution. They learn about rain. They learn about the plants that grow there, the animals that live in the ocean, and those that live close to the ocean. And they have a number of stations where they go. They revolve around from one station to the next station to the next station. And we have the Green Club on Staten Island that has been bringing about recycling and some other things. So I know something does exist on Staten Island in that way. We have to find out more about it.
Well, also in the Green Belt at Pouch Camp, there are a lot of educational programs going on.
Can you name any of those? Or?
I don't know, but it's a summer program, a lot of times associated with the Boy Scouts. Well, I also want to mention that there are some social equity and environmental justice issues related to climate change. And so climate change doesn't affect all people equally. So for example, in urban areas, a lot of times you'll have a lack of trees, a lack of vegetation, and that leads to the creation of urban heat islands. Likewise, there are kids in lower income communities, communities of color, immigrant communities that experience flooding, power outages, and things like that in a way that's much more magnified than others. Likewise, for those who live in affluent coastal communities, from Palm Beach to the the Hamptons, low elevation along rivers and coastal areas, and in warmer climates from states like Arizona, New Mexico, Louisiana, Florida, are expected to be especially hard hit by climate change. So this will affect affluent areas as well as poorer areas.
There's no way, basically, to run away from this. If you believe in the science and watch the data of over 100 years or 200 years, is there anything else you'd like to add at this time?
Sure, just talk a little bit about teachers and whether that their role in implementing this curriculum. So basically, with climate-related anxiety increasingly spreading among young people, many educators are adamant about not only teaching issues, but teaching solutions, or helping to achieve solutions. So working with young kids, some of the things that are most important are making sure that children not only get accurate information, but hopeful information. So we need to make sure that kids learn about solutions and creativity and resilience as much as they learn about causes and effects.
We've done this interview in a jumping around method. Is there anything that you think that we've left out that you might want to check your notes on? And
well, sure. In the state of Connecticut, there are a lot of people who can contribute to environmental education and climate change education. So, for example, the Department of Environmental Protection for the state of Connecticut is also helping to provide input for that curriculum, since they know so much about things like water, clean water, wastewater, pollution, flooding, erosion, so they can really ramp up that curriculum. And it seems to me like in other states, these departments of environmental protection or environmental management or conservation should be doing the same.
I thank you, Mark, for your enlightenment on this and your report. And I hope we can follow up more on this, and I hope the viewers will listen to this and let us know what's going on in their high school and their grammar schools, whether public or private, and we'll start looking around also and seeing what's happening in schools in Staten Island. That's our report on compulsory climate change education for the Environment TV report from Mark Latour and Charlie Olson.
Thank you, Charlie.
And now the answer to this episode's question. The question was, how much electrical energy does our planet use every instant in watts? That's every second, has to be there. The answer is very, very large. You may have heard of these numbers, but I know because of today's technology, because of what we look for when we're buying computers, that you are all familiar with the words kilo and mega, and possibly even giga. But have you heard of tera? The whole planet uses 5 terawatts of generated electricity every instant. That's 5,000 gigawatts, or 5 million megawatts. No matter how you say it, that's an awful lot of generated coal burning, oil burning, nuclear, and renewable methods required to produce that large amount every instant so that we can turn on some kind of switch and have that power ready all the time without any blackouts or brownouts or any outages of any kind. Here's an interesting list of energy users. For the entire world, the whole world uses 5 terawatts or 5,000 gigawatts. The United States uses every second, every minute, every second, every instant, 1 terawatt. New York City uses 12 gigawatts every instant, every second. Tokyo, which is bigger than New York City, uses 23 gigawatts. A small town uses 1 megawatts. And this is on average. My home, your home, on average uses 1 kilowatt every single instant, or 1/1000th of a megawatt. All of these numbers show how important electrical energy is in our daily lives, regardless of where we get it from. And that's where we'll leave it for you, the viewer, to chew on and to think about until our next episode. That's our report for today, and we hope that you'll join us for the next one. More so, we need to hear from you, the viewers. So please send us an email, contact us, and let us know what's on your environmental mind, as this episode's participants have done with their short animal photos and videos and longer reports. Until then, enjoy the nature that we live in and are part of. I'm Charlie Olson, host and producer for the Environment TV report. Thank you.